Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your daily dose of zombies news from the game and its community here on COD Zombies HQ. Thank you so much for tuning in today, where yesterday's Zombies News Update video featured a lot of discussion about the things Treyarch changed in the Outbreak Zombies mode. Now that the community has had more time to dig into the contents of this update, a lot of players are noticing some major issues that you're definitely going to want to be aware of if you decide to play zombies anytime soon. So, kicking things off with our first story of the day, along with the Season 2 update for Cold War Zombies, Treyarch finally introduced the Frenzied Guard Field Upgrade into the game. We knew it would eventually be added into the game since launch, so when Treyarch has finally decided to pull the trigger on releasing it, it really didn't come as a surprise. But what is definitely surprising is some of the crazy issues players have been experiencing when using the new Frenzied Guard Field Upgrade. The first example that a lot of players, especially on PlayStation, seem to be experiencing, but I've seen it reported across several platforms, is this. When you pop Frenzied Guard, for whatever reason, a huge white rectangle slowly grows on your screen. This isn't like edited footage or anything. This is in-game footage of players popping Frenzied Guard only to have a large part of their screen totally obstructed because of this huge white rectangle. I mean, this bug would be absolutely hilarious for its sheer weirdness, but it definitely could get someone down with most of their vision obstructed while all of the zombies on the map are attracted to one player, which is the actual effect of the Frenzied Guard Field Upgrade. So while the bug is weird and annoying, odds are that if you get it, you'll probably end up surviving it. But this next one, players are having a lot more trouble dealing with. I've mostly seen this one reported back on Machine. When you use Frenzied Guard and there's plague hounds around you, there's a chance that all of the plague hounds attacking you will become permanently invincible. But it isn't just like a visual glitch or something. These plague hounds can still do damage to you, but you can't do any damage to them, essentially just stopping the game in its tracks. So while Frenzied Guard is the shiny new field upgrade that a lot of players are testing out right now, my recommendation would be, if you want to use it on a regular zombies map, probably just pump the brakes a little bit, wait until Treyarch starts patching these issues. I would probably instead recommend you use Frenzied Guard in the Outbreak game mode, rather than on a regular survival map where the big two issues we talked about will have a lot less effect. Next up, in an update to yesterday's title story, where Treyarch ended up changing the RayGun's damage value that can be self-inflicted when shooting it down at your feet, for example. Before this update, shooting it at your feet once would instantly destroy all of your armor at once. It was a bug. Treyarch specifically said they were looking into it, and they claimed to have fixed it with this patch update. And while it did fix it for many players, I still saw a lot of players still saying that this bug is in the game, and it seems like the culprit has been found out. And if you watched yesterday's video, which I definitely encourage you to do, it's crazily ironic that the actual culprit does turn out to be Juggernog. That is, if you upgrade Juggernog to the tier 5 ability, even after the big patch update, any self-inflicted damage by the RayGun, or we assume any other explosive weapon, will instantly destroy all of your armor. It's believed that this is due to a bug with the tier 5 ability of Juggernog, the Dying Wish substitute ability that's supposed to sacrifice all of your armor in order to tank that one extra hit that would have ended up taking you down if you didn't have tier 5 Juggernog. Because of this, players are recommending that you don't upgrade to tier 5 Juggernog as of yet. Tier 4 is a-okay. Tier 5 will end up causing you to have this bug in your game until it's solved once again. Next up, ever since Treyarch patched the extremely popular strafe jump to skip the first door by over on Firebase Z in its spawn, players have been looking for alternative methods to try to skip that first door by. Well, there's a few methods out there floating around in the ether. This one by Reddit user Padu caught my attention. It uses a knife lunge boost to propel you up onto the second floor balcony over by the first door by, effectively enabling you to avoid it just like you'd be able to before Treyarch patched the method. Now, knife lunge boosts aren't new to Cold War. There was a bunch of interesting knife lunge boost spots over on Machine, but this is the first time I've seen it used in this way to skip the first door by in spawn. It might be a little bit hard to replicate, but the good thing is, unlike the other methods to skip the first door by that require the Ether Shroud blink jump, this one doesn't require anything besides a fully upgraded knife, and you can try it as many times as you want as long as you have one zombie left remaining. Next up, in what seems to be becoming a daily occurrence on Outbreak versus vehicles, Jacob Graham, 25, is just driving through the forest in the Outbreak mode, takes down a zombie when suddenly the slingshot is engaged, and he goes for the ride of his life, sailing through the air on the Outbreak game mode until he thankfully arrives back down on Earth safe and sound, his vehicle no more destroyed than before. Next up, Treyarch did release a patch for Cold War Zombies today, and unfortunately it didn't fix any of the issues that we talked about in this video, but it did fix something that I saw a lot of players starting to use on what is probably the most difficult holdout location on the Outbreak mode, where before, by using a specific strafe jump, you could hop up and out of the holdout location on the Golova Outbreak map, enabling you to be totally free of your confined spaces, and you can just run around the entire map and wait for the holdout timer to tick down. This was a really common method. Outbreak rounds started to get really high, and with this method patched, it seems like the only effective way to survive this Golova holdout location now is likely to be a combination of Ring of Fire and a liberal use of the Death Machine power-up. Next up, in a bit of a silly fix, Treyarch says that they've addressed an issue where the Mimic would teleport away after spawning from a loot chest. So as I've heard their yells of disbelief through the mic when playing the Outbreak mode for the first time, it seemed before that there was an issue where the Mimic would just straight up peace out after being discovered, drop his concuss like he was playing prop hunt, and zip away as a different item while you'd be left in the dust. Well, now it seems like you can make friends with your Mimic friend by taking him down because he won't be teleporting away prematurely anymore. If you are hopping in to play zombies this weekend, be aware that there is a double XP and double weapon XP event on live right now in the game, so be sure not to use your double XP and double weapon XP consumables because they do not stack with a double XP event when it's running globally. That event runs throughout this weekend and ends on Monday morning. But guys, that wraps up the news today. I want to thank you so much for watching. Hey, if you did enjoy it, why not leave a thumbs up on the video? Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. I will say that while there has been a bunch of these crazy issues associated with a lot of the new content introduced into the Zombies mode in Season 2, it is good to see that aside from some initial issues over on the Xbox platform, that the Outbreak game mode is fairly stable and that it seems to run on everybody's system fairly well. I was really worried with the release of Outbreak, with it being a larger map, with it spawning a whole bunch of AI throughout one map without actually deloading areas, that we would see the Cold War Zombies engine chug on everybody's machine, but Treyarch seems to have somehow managed to pull it off while maintaining good performance, a trend that'll be interesting to see if they can keep up in the future when hopefully the Zombies game mode becomes even more ambitious than it currently is. But until then, I want to thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you with another Zombies news video tomorrow. Peace.